Hello everybody, I'm also a Druid with Ovates, and with regards to teaching or giving presentations, actually as druidic wyrd, I would like to start this presentation in a very druidic way and would like to invite you all to take 3 breaths together. Let's take 1 breath with the earth below our feet. One with the sky above our heads. And one with the abundance of love, life all around us. Oh, great Spirit, spirits of this time and spirits of this place, spirits of death, spirits of the psychophons, guides and guardians of the afterlife. We ask for your guidance and your blessings on this talk on, what might come after, or might not. Thank you. Right, the presentation I'm giving here is probably going to be the one most terrifying for a lot of you, because I'm going to make you sing on this trying. So I thought, well, it's probably not that interesting. I have about 40 texts if you would like to pass them, and maybe if you don't feel inclined to sing, just pass them on, and these are the lyrics of the song we are going to sing a bit, if you want to. And whilst this is going around, I'll give you a bit of a background to the song and what we're going to do a bit later. The Lyke Dirge is a song from Yorkshire, from north of Britain. It was first recorded in the early 17th century by John Ovates, a folklorist and historian who also, not really discovered Stonehenge and Avebury, but was the first who actually said, right, this can't be a Roman temple, this has to be something else. And came up with the whole Druid interpretation of it, which we know is false, but still, it's a romantic story and a healthy story, so we just go with it even today. But the interesting thing about the Lyke Dirge, when we go more into detail of it, it depicts the journey of the soul through an afterlife. And what we have here is the Druid version and a shorter version. There are many longer versions of it with many more tasks that the deceased have to fulfill in the afterlife. We are only going for 2 tasks, giving cloth and shoon and giving meat and drink to the people in your life, and what happens if you've done it or haven't done it. There are other tasks like if you ever, actually the nice one is if you have ever built a house, if you ever planted a tree, if you ever fought in a battle. So you can all look this up, but it would make for a much longer song there. Right, before we go to sing is, what actually does Lyke Dirge means? Well, Lyke is an old Germanic word. For the Germans here, Leiche, Lyke, the similarity is clear. Even Dutch, still, it's Lyke. So Lyke is corpse. Awake is Lyke, a corpse. Dead person. Awake is, actually the process of sitting with a corpse, looking after a corpse, maybe even having a drink with a corpse, telling the corpse a story, or telling the story of the life that was before. And the dirge is a very slow, monotonous song that you sing mostly whilst carrying a coffin. So maybe for when you're singing the song, maybe just imagine you are either one of the coffin bearers or you're walking behind one. And you don't have to sing the whole song. I'm probably just singing it for you, and you only come in the second and the fourth line. The second line would be every night and all. So please, if you want to, just join me and try to sing every night and all. Give it a try, please. Every night and all. Good. And in the original that John Aubrey recorded, it actually says, "And Christ received thy soul." I'm not a big fan of the Jealous Desert God. I don't think many people are. So for the Druidic version, we changed it to Gwyn. Gwyn is one of the underworld gods of especially the Brittonic Celts. Gwyn Upneath, the bright son of the mist. And he's the one who actually holds a big feast for the dead and gives them the rest before he sends them off. He's the leader of the Wild Hunt. So I thought it was appropriate to invoke him here. And it's the same rhythm. The fourth line goes, "And Gwyn receive thy soul." And Gwyn receive thy soul. Beautiful. So again, every night and all. And every night and all. And Gwyn receive thy soul. And Gwyn receive thy soul. So if you're feeling brave, you're invited to join in all the other lines. I'm just singing 1, 2, 3, 4, all verses. And yeah, when you feel confident, just join in. So, right. This one night, every night and all, fire and sleet and candle lit, and Gwyn receive thy soul. When from hence away thou past, every night and all, to thorny wood thou come at last, and Gwyn receive thy soul. If ever thou gave cloth or shoe, every night and all, sit thee down and put them on, and Gwyn receive thy soul. If cloth nor shoe thou now gave none, every night and all, the thorn shall prick thee to the bone, and Gwyn receive thy soul. From thorny wood thou may pass, every night and all, to bridge of dread thou come at last,
soul.
If ever thou get, from which of dread thou may pass,
Every night and dawn,
to unknown deep thou come at last,
and when receive thy soul.
if ever thou gave meat or drink,
Every night and dawn,
the Lord shall never make thee shrink.
and when receive thy soul.
If meat nor drink thou now gave none,
Every night and dawn,
the fire will burn thee to the bone.
and when receive thy soul.
This one night,
Every night and dawn,
fire and fleet and candle lit,
and when receive thy soul.
Beautiful. Thank you very, very much. Right. Why did I make you do this? What you have here on Lyke Dirge is a description of the journey of the soul. And this description you find in many, many other cultures. If most people, especially within the occult community, think about a death journey, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh yeah, the Book of Going Forth by Day, better known as the Egyptian Book of the Dead, or the Tibetan Bards. And in many, many other cultures you find similar journeys, and although they are all very much a product of the culture from which they emerged, the interesting part is if you really look at them, and if you really look at the common points in it, you'll sooner or later notice 5 major topics. Apparently, the first thing that happens when a person dies, they will find themselves in a strange place. This can be a moor, a wood, a thorny wood, just on the other side of a river, an alien place, a desert. And you wander for a while, and if you're lucky, you have a psychopomp, someone to guide you. Maybe a nice god, maybe a dog, maybe something that is both. And in this strange place, the first disintegration of not actually the soul or the spirits takes place, but the first, well, you could say judgment, or the first assessment. So you are in that strange place, you don't have a body anymore, apparently you still have something resembling it, and then you start to think about your past life. What have you done? Have you been a decent person or not? And what are the implications of and repercussions of it? And then at a certain place you find a way to cross the body of water you find yourself next to. And the interesting part here is it really well, depends on where you're living. If you're in a culture that is more inside the country, far away from the sea, you will probably encounter a large river. If you're from a coastal culture, it's just natural you find yourself by the sea. Usually at the western shore, because that's where the sun is setting and where you want to follow the sun. And you need the means to cross the water. So sometimes it's a bridge that just leads you over the river, or sometimes it's a ship, a bark. For the Egyptians, it's nice. There's actually a very nice bark crewed by various gods and goddesses. And for the Celts, it's a bit more laborious. They have to build their ship themselves. They build their ship of glass out of the memory and everything that made their lives, so that the time of their lives becomes the keel of the boat. And the stations of their lives, those become the ribs. And everything they learned, those are the planks. And what you believed and what you stood for, that's your mast. And then on a very nice point it says, on the loom of your heart I will weave my sail with the love of my life, and stitch and embroider the names of my beloved one on my sail. And the wind of and the love of those you leave behind, that will become the wind that takes you into the west. But the journey doesn't end there. You're crossing a body of water. So what's on the other side? On the other side is, well, the deeper afterlife. The bridge or the boat is actually there to, well, hold on for a minute and say, right, this has been my life. In the Egyptian story of the dead, this is the place where the 42 assessors come into place and ask you questions like, have you killed? Have you stolen? Were your dealings in the marketplace just? Was your tongue like a viper in anger? I encourage you all to read those 42 questions of the 42 assessors from the Egyptian book of Going Forth by Day. They're absolutely timeless if you really think about them. And when you read them, at one stage or the other, you might actually say, oh fuck. It's not looking good. But then there is the last assessor. And his question is the most important. His question to the soul of the deceased, or the spirit of the deceased, is there anyone living who is glad that you have lived? And I find this a very comforting thought. Because you might have been a bastard in life. We all are, in a way. But we have to be real bastards, of not leaving at least one person behind who is glad that we have lived. And if we take that to our hearts and live by it, we still make mistakes. But if we leave someone at the end of our lives that is glad that we have lived, we did all right, didn't we? So this is what the crossing, the bridge of dread, and the boat is for. Because there's always the possibility that in the end they say, oh, all right, forbidden. So, and then you pass into the deeper underworld. And this may be a blissful place, or maybe not, depending on how your assessment on the bridge or on the boat went. And there your journey still doesn't end. It's a place of rest. You might go on further. You actually may be recycled or not. Reincarnation is not given it is something that you actually have to work for in some cases, or in most cases actually. So, but most death journeys end there on the other side of the assessment, saying, like, we did everything we could for you, we sing you a nice song, we told you a nice story. Hopefully now, in the deep end of the underworld or in the afterlife, you find some peace, you find the means to rest in peace or rest in power. And these are the common denominators of mostly all underworld or death journeys. And the interesting part of those death journeys is also that they weren't only meant for the dead. You prepared yourself for, well, basically dying well by living through those journeys over and over and over again. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, it wasn't just for the dead, that's for the living. The Anubis priests, if you were lying on your deathbed, came to you and told you the stories over and over again. So basically, those were the last words you heard. Those were the stories you lived your end into. And since we're nearing Samhain, we are actually already in Samhain, the time of, the waning year, the leaves are falling. It's natural that many cultures, especially all over Europe, have their remembrance days of the dead now at around this time. It is a very good time to think about death. Think about your own death, think about dying. Engage with death, engage with dying. We know from anthropology, if we look at cultures who ever so often engage in death, not every day, but at a certain time in their lives or at a certain time in the cycle of the year, they're much happier. For a long time here in Europe, we tended to avoid death. It has to do with the First World War, with the flu pandemic and the Second World War, all history. But still, we're now with generations who don't have those problems anymore. And they want to engage with death. They want to grieve in another way. They want to have funerals that are more open, more allowing for, well, their own spirituality, their own stories, and especially the stories of their dead. So, the Lyke Awake Dirge is a very nice, very simple way of engaging with this story. And of course, you can sing it as a song. I'm a funeral director. And funeral directors are a very strange bunch if they really are into their jobs. I remember when I was first preparing my first corpse alone, and I was going, oh, sorry, miss, I'm going to cut you out of your nightgown. Don't have other ways to get you out of it, and I hope the water isn't too cold for you. And I was talking to the deceased woman in front of me, not realizing that my boss was standing behind me. And then I thought, oh, fuck, I'm out of that job that I just started. He said, no, everything's all right. There are two kinds of funeral people here. Either you switch on your radio and listen to music whilst doing the washing and the preparing and the dressing and everything, or you talk to your deceased. Welcome to the club. So, if you ever happen to have a corpse nearby, hopefully not, by the way, I want you to spend, I'm quoting Caitlin Doherty here, mortician from London, head of the Order of the Good Dead. She said, I want you to spend more time with dead people. Not with any dead people, with your own dead people, but still, spend some time with them. It's good for your psyche. And ever so often you can maybe sing the song to your dead. A very nice idea for a Samhain ritual. I mean, if you're so inclined, Samhain rituals can be everything from a big celebration of your beloved dead to a very somber, well, I'm lighting a candle for those who haven't found their way over. Maybe for the next full moon is today, but for the next new moon or for the full moon in November, maybe light a fire, especially if you can light a fire on the land, and just sit with the fire. Make a bone fire. Have a couple of bones in there. Not human bones, don't go and dig them up. Just be some cow's bones, something that you use for a nice soup. Have them in your fire. It makes a difference. And then just sit with the fire and offer this fire as a portal for all those passed during the past year and haven't found their way over. Sing the song around the fire, silently, softly, and wait what happens. You might be surprised. Or you can use, and this is the next practical bit we're going to do in a moment, you can use this song or any other death journey as an actual template for a vision, as it was done. So in a moment, for those who want to, I want to lead you in a very, very soft vision. And a little bit along the path of a way into the underworld. So this is what the song is for. Just some explanations of the song I completely forgot to mention. I mean, if you look at the text of the Lyke Dirge, it's of course far less elaborate than the Egyptian Book of the Dead or the Tibetan Bards. If you look at the Tibetan Bards or what the soul has to do in the afterlife, it's insane. I mean, I'd rather stay alive than to mourn. I always believe that death is, well, phase of rest. Bloody spiritual word, I did that all my life. But nevertheless, there are 2 points in here that are important and that again come back to the 42 assessors of the Egyptian Book of the Dead. There is this point where it says, if you've ever given cloth or shoe. So basically, if you have ever given any other person during your lifetime the means of clothing themselves and protecting. A shoe is not just a mean to travel the land. A shoe is also something that protects you from the land. A shoe sounds strange, but a shoe is also a symbol for a house, for shelter, for security. Cloth is warmth, but cloth is also an embrace. And if you've ever given anyone shelter, you will be sheltered in the afterlife. If you haven't, the thorns will prick you to the bone. The assessment of your soul may be painful. And the interesting thing is, it's always about connection. Have you connected to others during your life? And the same goes for if you've ever been given meat or drink. If you've ever given anyone the means to survive, but also giving someone meat and drink, we all know this isn't just about eating and, well, giving some sustenance to our bodies. Giving meat and drink, again, is an act of communion, of interacting with our fellow beings. And those are the two major points in here. The questions are always, have you been a good person? Have you taken part in the lives of others? Christmas coming up. And if you're like me, I encourage you to read Dickens' Christmas Carol. It's the endearing story of how you need to scare rich people to death to be a little bit more charitable. But in the Christmas Carol, it actually says by Marley's Ghost that the most important task of every life is taking part in the lives of others and finding joy in it. And all those miserable spirits haven't done that. That's why they're miserable. So here is the encouragement of, be a nice person. Invite someone for a coffee. At least you've given drink. Giving meat and drink for vegan might be a bit difficult. I'm sure you find a way around that. But yeah, those are the two major points in here. And for those who aren't, I think I need to explain this. It says that from Bridge of Dread, you come into Annwn. Annwn is one of the Celtic underworlds. Annwn is basically it's not a shadowy place, it's not a dark underworld like hell, it's more like, this is the world under our feet. Doesn't have any sun or stars or anything like, but it's basically a nice place. It's a place where you find a reflection of your life. And this resonates very much with the philosophy of the Scandinavian mystic Swedenborg, who actually said, right, there isn't really a heaven or a hell. In your afterlife, you find what you loved most. And since Crowley said at one point he wouldn't mind going to hell and being tortured by Horus demons, there's a good chance he got what he wanted. All right. I want to attend Stephen Skinner's lecture, so I better get on with the pathworking now. For those who want to, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. Lean back in your chair, find some physical support. And pay attention to your breathing. And silence your mobile phone. Breathe in and breathe out. Don't strain your breath. But breathe in deeply, and by breathing out, all tension flow from your body like melted honey. And breathe in warmth and connection. And again, breathe out all tension. Let it all flow out from you. From the top of your head to the bottom of your feet.
then before your inner eyes, let a mist rise. White, soft, thick. Makes everything white, blanks everything out. It muffles the outside noise. And when the mist recedes, you find yourself in a swampy forest. Most of the trees around you are standing in water. You are standing in water, just up to your ankles. It is a misty and, well, unfamiliar place. It is the source of the river of death. And there's an ever so softly tug at your ankles from the water, which is slightly flowing. Follow that flow. Follow that flow through the trees. Until the swamp opens up. The wood recedes. You come to a river. You're walking alongside a river. And you're not walking alone. Many people are around you. Old and young. They're all called down to the river. They're all following the flow to the river. A lot of them seem very, very thirsty. They rush to the waters, drink from the waters, and big gulps. And the more water they drink, the more they vanish. These are the waters of forgiveness. Those are the souls who, well, don't want to live their lives. They forget. But you follow the river. You want to die well. So you endure your own thirst. You don't touch the water. But you follow the river. And sometimes you pass someone who got stuck in the mud on the river banks. You may help them if you want to. It would be an act of service. Service from the living for the dead, for those who got stuck between on their journey to the bridge. Go, follow the river until you come to a bridge. How does that bridge look to you? What kind of bridge is it? It is called the Bridge of Dread. Is it dreadful? What makes it dreadful? Don't cross the bridge. You're not there yet. You're only here to observe. Observe those who actually cross the bridge. Some do it carefully, one step after the other. One do it joyfully. Some do it boldly, standing in the middle of the bridge to be judged, and accept their judgment in grace. If you come back later, you can use this bridge as a point where you meet with the others from the other side. You're in a place between life and death. You can work here in service. You can help those who are stuck in the mud. You can help those who are afraid to cross the bridge. You can reassure them it's okay to cross over. You can even offer your support by telling them, I am glad that you have lived, even if I don't know you, even if I haven't met you, haven't touched you, haven't spoken to you, haven't kissed you. I am here to tell you I am glad that you have lived. Cross over in peace. And they do. And you realize, for this very brief moment, you fulfilled the role of a psychopath. You are the guide for the dead. And you may hope that someone, someday, will provide the same service for you. Take a last look at the bridge. And then make a step back. And a second step back. And the more you step back, the more a mist, a fog, is rising all around you. Wide, thick, soft, blurring everything out, making everything disappear. And then take a deep breath. You part the mist again and you open your eyes. And back you are. Wriggle your toes, hands and fingers. Shrug your shoulders. Rub your hands. Face. Come back. In a minute, go down, have a coffee, have a cake. Cafeteria staff made me say that. Yeah, right. These are a couple of ideas what you can do with a death journey. Take this home with you, work with it. Make it your own or just discard it however you please. But that's basically all I have to tell you here in this brief, well, not really hour, but 45 minutes. That's what I was aiming for.